And you are welcome for a Thursday here. Of course, it's all about art, and what else is art except, well, along with being able to write a book and put something as interesting as this together. Mushy Mushy Feelings, alternative to premarital sex. Dun, dun, dun. On Book Chat today, we have a good read for you, and it's written by Allison Hyacintho, the founder of Allison Hyacintho Ministries, a faith-based community where they share secrets of a successful and godly relationship by utilizing God's Word. Now, Mr. Allison, let's talk about this. When I saw it, I thought it was very interesting. Mushy Mushy Feelings, alternative to premarital sex. Did you get married a virgin?
Not really.
What a way to start today's book.
But I got married to a virgin.
You got married to a virgin. That's very good. That's a very interesting topic to start with. One would see it and think, okay, yeah, I really want to know what other alternatives there are to premarital sex. And you tell it in such a way that's very interesting, and I can tell that it's, well, basically from a ministry-based point of view.
That's true.
But I wanted to say one thing I really liked was the way it started. The first few pages were dedicated to one word each. And same word, by the way. Flee, flee, flee. And then it says, okay, wait. Let's talk about the subject now.
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult to talk about premarital sex? And why did you find the need to talk about alternatives to it in the setting that you presented, which is that ministry sort of setting?
I've noticed that a lot of people talk about premarital sex from the normal, casual perspective. You know, don't do this, don't do this. So even at churches, we keep hearing, don't do it. If you do this, you go to hell. If you engage in it, fornication is a sin, all of that. But rarely do we get people talk about what we should be doing instead of that. So if you're asking us to flee fornication or sex before marriage, what should we be doing? What should we replace the idea of the sin with? So this is why this book is conceived, to teach us what else we can do besides, you know, to cover up for the emotional connection that, you know, we're supposed to have in a relationship, the, you know, physical contact and all of that.
Yeah, but is there really an alternative? Most of the questions that I, after reading through the book, had in mind, I had a few more questions that I wanted to know, and whether it's something that is permissible. Okay. For instance, when I heard alternative for premarital sex, I thought about, oh, maybe finally the topic of, you know, self-sexual stimulation has become something that we can finally talk about. But that's not what you're suggesting in the book now, is it?
It's not what I'm
suggesting. What exactly are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that we find other godly, acceptable ways to replace the pleasure.
And how did you put that in the book? What are those alternatives?
You know, the secret to this actually is, in order for you to starve the flesh or starve your sexual desires, you must have to feed it with something else. So the flesh, the mind, the emotions cannot be empty at all. It is always constantly being filled. So if you are not filling it with your sexual desires for the lust and all of that, you must also have to feed it with something else. The flesh cannot be idle at any point in time. If you don't feed it, it will feed itself. This is why many people abstain from premarital sex, but then they are deep into pornography, they are deep into masturbation, lesbianism and all. They are running away from the main sex, but they are running into something similar. The reason is because you're starving the flesh of what it wants without giving it what you want it to have. So this is why I wrote the book, Mushy Mushy Feelings, to create other alternatives that we can have outside of premarital sex. Okay.
Now, let's talk about your argument on Adam and Eve and their approach by the devil. I find that very interesting story anytime anybody has a suggestion on it. And your depiction of the tree of life.
Yes.
The Bible is filled with such symbolism that many argue that that tree itself is symbolic of something. In your case, however, what is it symbolic of, as you put it inside of the book, Mushy Mushy Feelings?
It's actually a tree of knowledge, just like the Bible put it. It's
But it's not sex, is it?
but it's not sex, and it's not. We don't know if it is a fruit and what
Or
kind
an
of
act.
fruit or any act. But we know there was an instruction not to touch a certain fruit. And it's even more interesting how, you know, the instruction was given to Adam, and Adam communicated that instruction to his wife Eve. So it is even more interesting how Adam communicated the instruction to Eve. He told her, do not even touch it. God's instruction was, do not eat of it. But, you know, women, you have to go the extra when you are passing an information.
Well, in the book, I actually really thought that that was what it meant, especially after I read this. Don't be deceived into taking what is already yours before the will. Don't let the devil fool you into kissing and romancing in the disguise that you are not having the main sex, he puts it. Let me touch boobs, I won't take off the bra. Let me feel the inside, I won't remove the boxes. It goes on and so and so. It's all a ploy. These are all relatives of sexual immorality. It's a very Puritan book, I must say.
Thank you.
But how did you intend to make it acceptable to a lot of people so they don't see it as too Puritan for me to touch? I don't know if you get me. It sounds very, very, I'm going to be faced with my sins when I read this book, is what it seems like.
Yeah.
But did you have any, did you attempt to make people, well, hey, it's not that way, it's not that Puritan, it's Catholic, it's for everybody to actually read and gain something from?
Yes, exactly. So the main idea is to touch on the areas that are very easily neglected in church. Many pastors, many teachers never tell you what to do if you're not having sex. So they just leave us with the fear of, okay, if you do it, you go to hell. If you do it, you are condemned.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to show people that, okay, we shouldn't do this, but we can do this instead.
Good alternatives.
Yes, good alternatives.
Well, Mr. Hyacintho, it was a very interesting read. Do find out much about it yourself. Mushy Mushy Feelings, alternative to premarital sex. You might find something that you find or never knew you were interested in from inside. Hyacintho, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you here. Now,